Hello everybody and welcome back to CFO Conversations. Today I have the great pleasure of welcoming our first male into the studio, Michael Jockey. Welcome Michael. Why don't you tell the audience a bit about yourself?
Thank you. My name's Michael Jockey. I'm currently the CFO of a company called RF Capital. I've held a couple of CFO roles in different organisations over the years, different industries, different organisations. And it's wonderful to be here.
Well, today we're going to go on a bit of a journey, and the subject today is around technology unlocking transformation in finance teams and in organisations actually. I know Michael, a bit like me, has worked as a CFO in corporates, but also you've become very operational focused as well. And I think as the future belies the CFO, we are across whole of business, and we'll have another conversation about that. But talk to me about how we've gone from spreadsheet jockey to head of data insights. I think that's a really nice terminology.
Yeah, well look, as finance people, we started our lives in the Excel spreadsheet, mired in rows and rows of data, pivoting and dumping data and reformatting all of that. And I guess over the years I saw the data loads become greater and greater in some of these organisations, and the challenge of manipulating that data and managing that data so much more difficult. And what that meant for the finance function was longer hours and really a lack of engagement. I think fundamentally as accountants, pivoting and reformatting spreadsheets is not overly rewarding.
No, but I guess we have been good at it.
Yes, we have. We have. It's the mainstay of what we do. So the challenge for us as a finance function is to move beyond just managing and reformatting and pivoting and dumping the data to interpreting data. And that's where I come from, this premise that I think technology is the great unlocker of the finance function. It allows the data to almost take care of itself, to present itself for interpretation, for understanding, for analysis and for comment.
Yeah, and that I think is a different skill set potentially for a lot of people that might be watching as well. So how do we think about getting better at, and it talks to understanding of business, right? We can't hide behind the numbers, whereas perhaps we might have done in the past. Oh, here's the report and there you go. It's actually understanding what does that number say about the business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's two things there. I think one is the desire for finance as a function to get out into the business, to understand the business more. You know, for example, I worked for a construction infrastructure business. Get the steel cap boots on, get the high-vis jacket on, get down onto the site and understand where the numbers originate. It's the desire to do that. But the second is, it's about having that technology working for us and being able to then put the understanding of the business together with the data readily available. Because having understanding of the business is one thing, but if you're still mired in spreadsheets and reformatting, then you don't really get the opportunity to look at both.
Yeah, that's right.
And correlate the two.
That's right. And I think also now, if we're actually even got one eye on the future, we need to get better at that, because our job around the sort of number crunching will go away, or it will become automated, as you say. So we've got to use this time now to prepare to be that data insight person.
Yes, exactly.
And work with the business.
We read a lot about AI, and we read a lot about business intelligence and the progression of data mining tools and drillable dashboards and all of those sorts of things. So it is changing, whether we like it or not, whether we, I don't think we've seen the death of the spreadsheet just yet. But it is changing, so as a function we need to be ahead of that. And data is our game. So if we can put that together with fundamentally understanding how the business operates, the opportunity is incredible.
Yeah, that's right. So if any of these terminologies scare you or you're not sure about what they mean, then absolutely now's the time to go away and do some more research into the subject, because we know that technology is going to transform us as finance leaders. Thanks, Michael.
It will. Thank you.